Welcome to this edition of Tech Talk. In this issue we're going to be taking a look at engine oil. So first up, what does engine oil actually do? The oil inside an engine provides a protective coating on metal surfaces between each other to reduce friction. Reducing friction means the surfaces can move against each other easier, which in the case of an engine means more power. Reducing the friction also reduces the wear on the engine components, which prolongs their service life. In some cases, oil under pressure creates a layer that stops two metal surfaces from touching each other at all. For example, in the big end bearings of an engine. This is why monitoring oil pressure is so important, as a surge of oil or a broken oil pump will cause a lack of oil pressure to the big end bearings, and when this happens, the crank or the rods will make full contact with each other and then you'll completely destroy the bearings inside. Lastly, engine oil also reduces the temperature inside the engine, as heat is a byproduct of friction. So if you reduce friction, you reduce the temperature. Also, as engine oil circulates through the engine, it carries the heat away from the metal surface. So basically, the overall job of oil is to lubricate and cool the engine. So what is engine oil? Engine oil is made up of two parts, the base oil as well as the additives. The base oils can either be mineral or synthetic. Mineral base oil originates from crude oil, which comes from out of the ground. Crude oil is a fossil fuel. Fossil fuels are made up of hydrogen and carbon, which gives them their name hydrocarbons. Synthetic oil is artificially engineered. Synthetic base oil is much more expensive to produce, but is also of a much higher quality, as it's tailored to withstand conditions where conventional mineral oils start to break down, such as at extremely high temperatures. It's also much more stable at low temperatures. Sometimes synthetic and mineral base oils are mixed together in different proportions to give semi-synthetic oils. The base oils are also given a grade. A grade 5 oil is generally a high-performance synthetic oil for extreme performance applications. Additives are also added to the base oil to give different types of properties for the oil. So let's have a look at how we classify oils. Base oils are given a grade based on their quality as well as their properties, and we also look at the viscosity of the oil. A liquid's viscosity is basically how runny it is. The higher the viscosity level, the thicker the liquid is and the less runny it is. One example of this to think of is honey, which at a room temperature has a very high viscosity, and water, which has a very low viscosity. When it comes to oil, a high viscosity means the oil will be thicker, giving a thicker layer of protection of oil and providing increased shock loading protection. The trade-off is slightly increased resistance within the oil, which means the engine has to work slightly harder. Thicker oils are generally used in big horsepower engines where the extra protection is required, but the extra resistance isn't an issue. Many people use thicker oil in older engines as well to reduce wear and prolong engine life. A low viscosity oil has a thin oil layer, which means there's less friction within the oil, so the engine can theoretically make more power and have better fuel economy. These thinner oils are suited to high revving engines and also to high technology and late model engines that use materials designed for thin oils. Many exotic cars and turbo engines are designed for use with thin oils as well. Now, like most liquids, the viscosity of oil changes with temperature. The hotter the oil gets, the thinner it gets. Multigrade oils are now predominantly used in engines, as using a multigrade oil reduces the rate of thinning as the oil gets hotter. Synthetic oils also thin at a slower rate. If you look at the numbers on a bottle of oil that describe the viscosity, the first number is the viscosity when the oil is cold, and the second number is the viscosity when the oil is hot. The higher the number, the thicker the oil. The additives and the base oil determine the viscosity range. We'll continue our look into oils in another edition, but this basic knowledge should help you understand and choose the right oil for your car. For more information, log on to www.castroledge.com.au.